All right, guys, welcome back. Another episode of In the Wild, and we've been trying to get this one done for months. His work schedule really doesn't allow the random, beautiful weather out here in East Texas, out here truly in the wild. And we got the Savage on the trails, Mr. Stunna driver himself, Blake from Bottomless Trails, and it's just a pleasure to be here, man. Finally, nice to get down and sit down with you and have this conversation.
Yep, it's good to have you here, man. We've been looking forward to this for a long time. We tried to do it at Nats. The weather was crazy. The crowd was crazy.
Oh, yeah.
Come the weekend.
And then the rain came in, and then Saturday after the races, we were going to try to get together, and then the traffic was crazy.
Horrible. Not horrible in a bad way. Horrible in a great way.
It was cool to see the trails just lined as far as you could see, all the way from the bounty races all the way into the woods. You could just see headlights and portal lights.
To the river, to the beaver pond, to anywhere. And Sabine's not a small park.
No.
And it was packed.
Seeing all the people that were like in their minivan, you know, stuffed way out in the trails.
Bogging to get to where they was going.
Yeah, they were like, I left for a pack of cigarettes, come back and look at this. It was a fun experience. This was only my second year at Nats, and I just didn't know that Texas goes so crazy.
Oh, man.
Like here we got a machine sitting on 56s, the trail rides.
Yep.
What made you go this big?
Well, I was actually happy on 50s, but my crew decided that 50s weren't enough. You know, we was getting stuck a little more than we wanted to. As you go up in tire size, the world goes up in tire size. And
right.
You know, it causes us to have to go bigger. I mean, if we getting stuck every 5 minutes, we can't make the videos, you know, the content we want to make like that. We want to keep going and show the trails and do whatever we got to do to make it through them. Yeah.
What do you think about all the comments on Facebook about 56s and 60s and?
Well, you just got to grow with the times. That's all I got to tell them. You know, a lot of people ask me the same thing too. And if you don't grow with the times, you get left behind. That's all it is.
Yeah, I remember seeing your machine last year on 50s, and I was thinking, this thing's a monster truck.
Yeah.
And so then I went out and I bought 44s because I was like, you know what? 6 inches is a lot.
Oh, yeah, it's a lot.
But at least it's a whole lot closer than 35s.
Yeah, and I didn't realize how much bigger a 56 was. You know, you think 6 inches, which only adds up to about 3 inches of ground clearance once you split it in half.
Yeah.
But, man, sitting beside a 50, these things look way bigger.
Yeah. The bike looks really good.
Thank you, man.
I like what you guys did with it, all the custom metal work, the suspension's killer.
Thank you, man.
This is probably one of my favorite bikes out there, because my thing is, if you're not trail riding it, how can you claim that it's a trail bike?
Exactly, and we wouldn't have anything we couldn't hit the trails with.
Yeah.
I will tell you, on 50s, it was very durable, though.
Really?
I beat on it for 2 years with 50s and never broke an axle, never, nothing. I mean, it was just solid. Had ball joints on it, never broke a ball joint.
Dang.
I mean, I beat on it hard for 2 years straight. That's why they want to change it.
So what do you enjoy more now that you got a little bit of seat time with the 56s?
I enjoy that it's high enough now where the radiator pretty much stays up out the mud, because that's a big problem with the turbos is the radiator gets clogged up because the two side by side, you know, real close together. But yeah, I think that's about my favorite part is, and we did a lot of gear reduction in it, so it turns the tires a lot easier than with 50s, and that's another thing.
Yeah, that's one thing that I noticed getting my bike back is that with the gear reduction, it's just a whole new animal. At our local park, I literally could put it in high gear and burn them all the way up the asphalt.
It's crazy what these machines do. A lot of people's like, oh man, them buggies can't spin them tires and stuff like that. Well, just go watch a few videos.
Yeah, you'll learn really quick that even though these tires are massive, they spin them with ease, really.
Yeah, the portals 60%. You know, the trans now has 66% overall. I mean, it'll light them up.
So it's a steep gear reduction. Did you go reverse, high, and low, or did you just do low and reverse?
We did it all. It's a 66, 25, 25. So 66 overall, I believe. I don't know exactly how the gear reductions work. I don't know if it goes by tooth count or what it is, but it's 66, 25, 25 from Crash City. It's supposed to be the same reduction as in a Turbo R. It's supposed to be the exact same.
Yeah, I have no idea when it comes to transmissions and swapping motors out. I'm good on all that. Like I can do all the suspension stuff, except for like the ball joint delete, and you know, like even doing a ball joint delete, that's way out of my wheelhouse.
Yeah, luckily Dirty T's, they actually cut the arms for me and just tacked the cups on there, and all we had to do was adjust the angles a little bit when we got back. As far as the gear reduction and you know, working on trans and stuff like that, I wouldn't have done it without my buddy Jared. He's the wizard behind all that. I like you, I could do the suspension, I could do everything on it, audio. I would mess with everything except busting the trans. Yeah. Just because it's a costly mistake if you mess it up.
I was messaging you and I was like, there's no way I am tearing into this thing. No way at all.
No. It's a lot of work. He had it out in 20 minutes, which I couldn't believe. Of course, I had the suspension off, the axles out.
Yeah.
But he had it out the bike in 20 minutes.
Wow.
And the next day we come back and rebuilt it and put it back in another maybe an hour or two. I mean, it was quick.
Dang.
He's fast.
That's a pretty quick turnaround.
It is. And it saved me a lot of money too.
Yeah. So with building a bike like this, and you guys obviously doing YouTube, how long have you been doing YouTube?
We've been doing YouTube since about the middle of 2020. And honestly, we just did it for fun. You know, we cut up with our friends and didn't really take it serious till last year. I mean, then we started pumping it out. Like after last Mud Nats, when it started actually rising, then we started saying, okay, we could do this. You know?
So with you doing all the editing, Amber doing all the filming, do you guys feel like it's a challenge to maintain like a riding and having fun and riding and doing the video, or is it just fluid motion at this point?
Yeah, it's pretty much fluid. We keep the night riding to ourselves, so like, that's one rule we have is we'll film during the day, but once it starts getting dark, that's our time to have fun, you know. So I mean, we treat it not like a job. It's still fun. Yeah. It's probably a job to her because she's the one walking all the trails through the mud holes, slipping and sliding and this and that. But no, we really enjoy doing it.
I really enjoy watching y'all's videos. Like I watched the Mud Nats video from last year and I was like, man, I've got to go ride with these people because this is something that, you know, like I didn't see that last year, but also I was a chicken shit because I was on a 37-inch tire and I was so afraid, you know, like I watched previous videos you guys did at Sabine and I was like, there is no way that I belong in the woods by myself hitting some mud holes because you just really don't know. Yeah. And then getting with the group like you all, you know, you put me under your wing this year and we rode Tuesday. Yeah. And that trail, it was a lot of fun. And me and my wife, like, we don't have deep mud like that at home. So when she floated that thing, she was so hyped.
She was pumped.
Oh, she didn't stop talking about it all week. She was like, we got to go back. And then as more people started getting there, and like some folks that we had met the last year, they're from Louisiana. Yeah. And we took them over there and we're like, you guys got to watch this. We're going to float this thing. And then I had a couple of technicalities, so I wasn't able to send it as much as I could have. Yeah. But seeing that I blew apart my driveline in high gear, I mean, it was a user error for sure, but you got to learn. Yeah,
you got to learn. And a lot of things I tell people is they're like, man, them big bikes, you know, we can't hang with that. Yeah, you can, man. There's ways around every trail. We have every size machine with us. Everything from a 60 Gary to a 44 of my old machine, Kobe, and they'll go everywhere. They just find routes around, you know, the ones that's deep. Like I tell them all, if you see them 56s go in the water, you know, you probably should go around. If you want a 44, 46, you know, 46s are very capable.
And that's one of the, I got to give you guys, like you and Amber, I got to give you guys your flowers because that was one thing that I was so nervous because we followed Tristan. Yeah. And we seen him hit it and Stephanie looks at me, I looked over at you, you gave me the thumbs up and boom, there she went. You know, because it was like, we've never ridden like that. Yeah. So, you know,
it's intimidating.
We're not from an area where the mud scene has enough people to actually make it grow. Yeah. And so then getting with you guys, it was like, this is what's up.
Man, it's intimidating, you know. Even sometimes, like if I get in deeper stuff, it goes about halfway up my doors or something like that. I start getting start getting like, oh crap.
Get a little panicky.
Yeah, let's, but most of the times I'll just stay calm is all you got to do. You know, a lot of people kind of panic. They'll let off the throttle. Yeah. Or something like that. And these big tires, they like to float. So even on a 50, you let off the gas, it's coming up, and it might go, depending on which way the rut is, you might flip it. You know? Yep. You just got to stay in it.
So, funny you say that, because Stephanie hits it one way. Yeah. Everything went great. I had to rock her a little bit, but she got out of it. I come back through the other way, and Gary, he was quick on the action too. He ran over. Yeah. I had to step on my stairs so this way it would pull it back, because I've never experienced, you know, the passenger side just floating up in the air, and inside the bike it felt like it was going over. Oh, and then I watched the video and I'm like, man, I panic and I look like an idiot.
Yeah, don't even look like on videos do the hose no justice. Yeah, especially climbing out or a big hill or, you know, something like that. Videos do it no justice. Like, man, my Bayou 220 can do that, and I'm like, okay, buddy. Your Bayou 220's rack ain't even as tall as my wheel. Like, yeah, you don't think it's big, but it is. It's a big deal.
So going this big, obviously you guys are committed to the mud. How long have you been mud riding?
Man, as long as I can remember. I started when I was a kid. You know, my parents, they bought me foilers and stuff when I was real young, and we just cut up all the time, you know. But as far as serious mud riding, I'd say since we moved here and got, you know, the buggies and started putting portals and, you know, meeting people at High Lifter, which helped me out a ton. And just, I don't know, we've been mud riding since we moved up north, and there's mud parks everywhere. You know?
Yeah, you guys are literally like in the perfect location for the mud scene in general.
Oh yeah.
I mean, it's crazy the amount of shops that are around, and not only the shops, but you guys have so many like manufacturers around here. Yeah. It's insane.
This is the mud mecca. Like Shreveport area, Marshall, Texas, you know, Hallsville, PCF. I mean, this is where everybody's at right here. The majority of them. Yeah. Other than like we talked about, like PATVs down south, you know, you got.
But it's not that far though.
No, it's really not. When
you know, and for me, going to Sabine is 14.5 hours by GPS. Dang. Pulling the 28-foot trailer,
I couldn't imagine.
It takes about 16 hours because the fuel stops.
I don't know if I was as far as you from mud parks, would I mud ride? That's dedication what you have.
Thanks, man. I really do appreciate it. But, you know, like, we don't have this kind of riding that you guys have down here to offer. So it's like, I'm not a rock guy. And I have said it in every video. The idea, you know, I did everything wrong 4 times before I did it right. Yeah. So now that I'm well 6 figures into it, it's like, I don't want to flip it over backwards and total the thing out. Yeah, because you will. And then they give me 15 grand, and then they're like, yeah, you have a good day. And then you're just sitting here looking at a broken pile of parts, you know? Yeah. So when you got this thing, did you go 50s right away, or did you slowly graduate?
So the first mud nats this thing seen was the first one at Sabine. What year would that have been? 22, I guess? 23 maybe? It was on 46s, 8s and 46s, and I was like, man, you know, it's stout, it's a good machine. And I get there, and everybody's on 50s, and I'm like, Lord, you know, everybody brings out new builds for mud nats every year. I mean, there's gonna be new stuff. Right. And so my buddy, he built a new bike at the time, and he was like, man, you want these 50s? I'm gonna go up to 52s. So I made one ride on 46s, swapped to 50s, and I stayed on them for about 2 years. And it's a major difference from a 46 to a 50, you know, just really 4 more inches, but it's a lot more width. Yeah. It just makes the machine totally different on a lot wider tire and a lot taller tire. Bigger lug.
What is what is the biggest difference besides obviously like the width, like you just said, but what is the biggest difference from making that jump from the 40s, 46s to the 50s? What was one of the biggest obstacles you had to overcome, or were you already built enough to handle a 50?
I was. I mean, I had to trim the fenders a little bit because they wouldn't clear quite as much. But no, it was. I kept it exactly the same. I mean, I did put clutching, tune, exhaust to give it a little more power. Yeah. Clutching makes the world go round. If anybody doesn't know, you buy a machine, one of the first things you want to do is clutch it. Right. From the factory, they're great, but you start adding big tires, portals, getting it in thick mud, clutches is what makes the world go round. It'll add more power than any tuning exhaust will, in my opinion. Yeah, it puts the power to the ground. You know, if you can't turn that belt, you can't turn them. You know?
Right. Yeah, I just keep looking at these tires and I'm thinking these things are absolutely massive.
Yeah, they are.
What is one of your favorite, well, give me your top 3 favorite parks.
Top 3 favorite parks? Number 1 is River Run, by far. The best texture of mud, style of mud, in my opinion. You can go there and dog a bike pretty good and not worry about breaking stuff. Sabine is my number 2, I would say. And the only reason it doesn't beat out River Run is because I feel like you have to drive far to get places at Sabine. Like, it feels like on these big cut tires, you know, and rough riding, it feels like miles, but it's really not that far. Whereas River Run's more sandy base. It's smooth riding. Once you get past the Highline area, which ain't far from camp, you got both sides of the woods is straight trails and hole after hole.
Dang.
You know? And my number 3, that's a hard one. I like Muddy Bottoms, only been there a handful of times. It's the Disneyland of mud parks, nice as amenities, but I would probably have to say, probably Boggs would be my 3rd, I would say. Really? Yeah, I like the cool pools when it's hot for the kids. Yeah. They do have great mud trails. It's far like Sabine, like you literally have to drive a good ways to get that trail, but yeah, that's probably my top 3. And we hadn't been that many places, honestly, so I don't have much to judge it. I just feel like you, again, got to give you your flowers because your content is just like boom, 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 boom. You guys don't miss a beat. Like, no. You and Amber are like, you're such a fluid motion of recording and getting the content out that it's almost like you guys have your own TV show, right? Yeah. Because the episodes is just like boom, boom, boom. Where are they going next? Yeah. Boom, boom, boom. Dang, that was a sweet ride. Like when you all went to Bogs and Boulders with Exclusive. Yeah. Those episodes were great. Oh yeah, Exclusive. They fun to hang with. I tell you, they'll make an episode great. Oh yeah. If there is an action, they'll give you action. They ride them things. They ride the hell out of them. Seeing them like that was fit in well with us. Yeah, you could tell like that was your guys' first time linking up and riding together, right? Yeah, we've talked a lot over the phone and stuff. But it just like everybody, it just feels like they were just one of the crew, you know. And I think that's what makes your guys' like I call it an episode. That's what makes your guys' videos so unique is that even when you're in the mud world, right? Like it's so big. It is so big. And then you see a group like what you all got going on, and then you guys can just mix with other groups, and it's like one big family. It is. And it's crazy to see how well like it's like sand in the water. You know what I mean? It is. It is. That's what makes everything work. You know, is linking up with the right people. You know, you got to have, if you're going to send it and ride as hard as we do, you got to have people that ride as hard as you do too. If not, it don't work. You know, it won't work. Right. I agree with you on that one for sure. Like back home, I'm the biggest bike. I'm the only one on a non-rock tire. Wow. And so for me, it's a huge challenge, and that's something that I know, like living up by us, I'm already at a disadvantage. Yeah. You know? But you can still go a lot of places though. Oh yeah. On the tire you're on up there, right? Yes and no. No. Because now it's crazy. We're about to have this conversation because I'm sitting next to a 56, but a 44 at home, that's huge. Really? Oh yeah. Like when it comes out of the trailer, you know, people are like, where are you gonna ride that? I went to Brimstone, rode in the mountains with this thing, and everybody, like I thought I was gonna cause major like accidents. Yeah. Because people were looking at me like, are you lost? Yeah. You know, and so it's humorous at home, but riding in the mountains, you know, like you said with the lugs and the tire size, and you know, you're doing, let's say 50 miles, and those XT400s don't have the best like hard pack manners. And also too, portals don't really like hard miles like that neither. No. Seals leak and yeah, that's one thing I could see not being an advantage. You wider, you're a lot wider. Oh yeah, 92 inches wide. And if you would hit a rock, just say going 30 with ball joints and portals and all the weight on every corner, that would not be good neither. Yeah, so I've really limited how I ride it back home, but I'll make the drive. You know, that's what I do for a living, and
I enjoy coming down here. Like, I never seen something like Mud Nationals where you got like 10,000 people just crammed into this park, but everybody's out having fun.
Yep, it is.
8 a.m., noon, 8 p.m., 4 a.m., everybody's out just having fun.
At the end of the day, we all share the same passion. Whether you love to hit the trails all the time or you love to hang out, there's something for everybody there, really. I mean, you could bring kids out there as long as you stay in the right areas, they fine, you know. You just have to know where to be at what time, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Any mud park.
Right.
Because River Run, it'll get slam packed during small events, you know, and you just got to know where to be at the right. If you go hang out on the High Line, you're going to meet the drunks. You're going to meet the people that maybe kids shouldn't be around, you know.
Yeah.
But if you stay to yourself on the trails, and that's our main goal. We hit a lot more non-events than we do events. For that reason, we can ride.
You jumped the gun a little bit.
All right.
I was going to ask, do you guys prefer to ride like big events like Mud Nationals, or do you guys like the off weekends?
The only event we usually hit every year is Mud Nationals. We only usually ride non-events. Now, it is fun going to like a little event here and there, like we did the Bounty Course a few weeks ago. It's great going out there and seeing the people that support us and help us, and just hanging out with them and having a good time. But as far as riding and content goes, you have to go to non-events. You know, you got music playing in the background wide open. You can't have that on YouTube, you know, copyright issues. You got you know, it's just a whole nother environment, you know, when you go, and you can get cabins on non-events.
Yeah, that's true.
You know, get RV spots if you want. You can. There's a lot more advantages to go places on non-events, and that's the only reason we do it. Yes, do I love to see everybody and give everybody merch, and just I love, you know, people waving at us on the trail, stuff like that. But I mean, the non-events for us is key because we can ride. We don't get stopped in trails like traffic jams or anything like that. I mean, in my eyes, I'd like to keep it that way. You know, I like the non-events. A lot less drama, a lot less, you know, a lot more ride. Right.
And the more riding,
the more content.
The more content.
Yeah. More content, more views. It just, stuff keeps growing and growing and growing.
Oh yeah. What do you feel like the biggest challenge is going on these rides? Is it because you and I share a very similar work schedule?
Oh yeah.
What is the hardest part for you, like getting ready for a ride?
Yeah, because like you say, once you get there, it's all great, you know? Yeah. But mostly the maintenance, keeping up. Like once you build them this big, you have to maintain them. If you don't, it will bite you. I tell everybody that. And people in my group's really good about maintaining their equipment. We rarely break. You know, at Mud Nats, you seen it in the air with the tires off and the front A-arms off. Yeah. That was just because we forgot a part in the diff. That's all that was. We built it for 2 months, on and off, coming back and forth to work. And the biggest thing I would say is maintenance. You know, I get home from work on, say, a Tuesday. I work on it Wednesday and Thursday all day. Even my son's full and mine, and packing up everything, and then go to a ride, get back home, gotta unpack it all, wash it all, and then head back to work. That's the hardest challenge for me, not having time.
Yeah, I feel like that's my biggest problem too. You know, like I got home Sunday from a ride, and I had just enough time to roll it in the garage dirty. Yeah, I'm guilty, right? But I do be using some chicken shine though.
Oh yeah, that's some good stuff.
I wait like a week to wash it. Yeah. Spray it down, go have me a nice cold drink. Yeah. Come back, spray it off, and then I do my nut and bolt check. And then I realize how much stuff I actually broke. And then I, you know, get out and I make a parts list, order everything, because our rides are pretty much 1 month apart.
Yeah, ours too. That's how we schedule them too.
I feel like that's key when you have such a crazy work schedule, and that's the only way to really be able to get home, get the bike fixed, get it ready for the next one. I agree. And still go out and have a good time, because like you said, if you're not doing maintenance and you get there and 5 minutes into it, you blow apart a ball joint.
Think about the money you wasted. Yes. Not even the parts is that much of it. Right. You break a ball joint, you might bend an arm, you might, it does cost a little money. But the money we spend to get to parks. Oh yeah. The cabin rental, RV rental, the fuel, the food, the alcoholic beverages, the entry fees alone. I mean, you spend $1,000, $1,500 to go on a ride, you break right off the trailer. If it's something major, you just screwed. Right. If it's something minor, then you waste, just say, half a day fixing it, and you only have 2 days to ride. So it really ain't worth it to me. Maintenance is key, 100%.
I do agree with you. Like, if you're not doing a nut and bolt check after every ride, you can't complain when you blow a portal in half.
No.
You know, and you see all these people on the internet that roast portals.
Yeah. Or any part of that matter.
You blew a case in half. Well, when was the last time you changed the fluid?
Yeah.
Did you notice that it was a little glittery? And you said, oh, well, I'm loading the ride in 3 hours, so slap some fluid in it and roll on.
Even take it back to even further before that. You got a turbo machine pushing 200 horsepower and a 50-inch tire, just say, and you buy, okay, let's cheap out, let's get a single idler cast portal, and then not change the fluid on top of it, or seals, and expect them to hold up. You know, it's not gonna happen. It's not gonna happen.
Yeah, I was gonna ask that question next, is single idler versus dual idler. Where do those worlds separate?
My motto for everybody watching this that ask me all the time, man, what should I do? Should I put this portal? Should I do this gear reduction? Go dual idlers off the jump, buy once, cry once. Save your money. If you can't afford the duals, save your money. They have payment plans, everything. I mean, do whatever you can. Buy duals and buy the highest reduction. I don't care if you're gonna run a 40 on just say a 4-seater, a 1000, maybe not the NA models you can get by with singles. I'm not even gonna lie. 4-wheeler or NA model, you can get by with singles all day long. Do the highest reduction, because that's gonna be easier on your axles, easier on your belts, clutches, engine. I mean, engine, it might rev a little higher, but it's still not straining as hard when you go to gas in the hole. Yeah. I think my thing is you never can have too much reduction. There's stuff I get in now that I wish I had a hair more, you know, or
dang.
Yeah, it's once big tires cake, like I said, don't matter if it's a 40, a 44, 50, don't matter. Once they cake, they weigh triple. Yeah. And it's hard on the machine, you know. I've rode beside machines. I had 45% duals on a 1000. My buddy had 60s. Yeah. I didn't make it through the hole. I'm smoking belts. Pull me out. Clutch kit, clutches and all. Pull me out. He hits it with 60% right through it. Just that little bit, you know, of torque will get you through stuff. And not break. Like you asked, dual idler versus single? Yep. I'll give you an example. One example real quick. My buddy Tristan, on 50s, first official ride with us, he goes out there and he got a turbo R, hits a hole with it, and the park was pretty dry, but it wasn't terrible. They had water in the hole. Hits the hole, locks up a portal off jump street. Takes us a half a day to fix it, which is no big deal. We all help, we all pitch in, we're gonna fix it. We're not gonna go ride without you. But it's just a lesson learned. Right after that, he bought duals, PFAB suspension, 56s. They ain't broke one yet.
That one lockup.
The one lockup
taught him a valuable lesson.
Yeah, so now you just spent $3,500 on singles, turn around, bought $6,000 duals, or however much you get, you know, discount with your local dealer or whatever, and you know, you made a mistake. You know, it is.
Yeah, I learned that mistake when I went 4-inch portals. Yeah. I did dual idlers, but if you have an idea that you're gonna go bigger, just buy it once and be done with it.
Buy once, cry once. I tell everybody, I am the worst about that. When I bought this machine, I learned from my last machine. I went 4-inch to 6-inch, from 35s to 38s to 44s. Just do it once, be done with it. Build it how you want it. If you questioning, okay, I don't want these arms, I'd rather them arms because they're stronger. Well, save up. Yeah. Save up a month. What is it gonna hurt you? You know? Right. Well, I know people want to die, and they dying to get on them trails, you know.
Oh yeah.
Take it out of their stock before you spend the money on you know.
Learn the machine before you build the machine.
Yeah. And that's another thing I can't say I'm bad about, because a lot of people listening to this that know me know that I'm not moving this thing off the showroom floor until it's built, because I like working on a clean machine. Yep. I tell people that too. Also, another big thing that I learned is that I rode mine when I first bought it, and then I realized I didn't like it stock. Yeah. And then I started tearing it apart, and then you're, you know, sitting there with a power washer finding a whole bunch of mud that you didn't even know existed. Oh yeah, that stuff will be everywhere.
Yeah.
Everywhere.
What is the biggest challenge that you've encountered doing YouTube?
YouTube?
Well, just social media in general. Because right now...
Talking on the camera.
Really?
Yeah. That's the hardest for me. I could be cutting up with my friends, having a great time, and then the camera points toward me and I lock up. Well, not lock up, but you know, I don't know, I guess I'm not used to it.
You just get nervous?
Yeah, like younger kids, younger generation, my son, he can get on the camera and, you know, they grew up like that. So
yeah.
That's all they know. But I think for us older generation, it's a little harder getting in front of the camera. But YouTube in general, I would say is keeping content going.
Yeah.
You know, having the time to go out there and ride, and then everybody asks you, when's this video coming out? When's this? Well, you have to space it, because if you don't and you have a month between, then your following goes down or don't grow as fast.
Right.
I think if you post 1 or 2 a week, whatever you can, to keep it moving all the time, it grows faster like that.
Yeah, I would second that too. I think ever since I started doing these podcasts and I started dropping Sundays and Wednesdays, and if you don't have the notifications turned on, turn them on. If you haven't clicked the subscribe button, go hit that.
Click it, the bell, the notification bell.
Y'all's link will be in the description below. Go subscribe. Like, it's free.
Yeah, it's free. It don't cost you nothing.
And you don't know what you're gonna like until you see it.
Yeah.
And that's probably one of the easiest things it is to tell everybody. Like, if you don't know if you're going to like it, just hit the subscribe button.
That's it.
Check out a couple videos, and if you don't, I understand it's not for everybody.
Yeah, because anybody in the social media world will tell you, on YouTube especially, when you go look at the views, 95% aren't subscribed. You know,
yeah.
they don't, and every little bit helps. Every like helps. Every subscribe helps. Every comment helps pushing the algorithm. So support your people that you like watching. You know, that's all I can tell you. If you like watching them, you like what they do, support them. Because we spending a lot of money to do this stuff, you know, and a lot of time and effort. You know, it's
you guys kind of got the cheater way. You guys don't have to drive, you know, 2.5 days each way.
Yeah, that is a big plus. I do love that. We actually have a park 45 minutes down the road, Gator Run.
Really?
I don't know if you ever heard of that.
I think I heard about it once, but you know, like, I was convinced, you know, until we started talking more and more, is that just go to the events.
Yeah.
Because it's easier.
Well, the events will get you more following too.
Yeah.
Not sadly, I won't say sadly, I don't know how to put it, but the events will get you more following because there's more eyes on you.
Yeah.
Know? They get to see these machines that they like. So many people walk up and they're like, oh, I didn't realize how big that thing was in person. You know, you can't tell from video and stuff like that.
That's the first thing I said when I walked up, and even though it was the front end was in the air, I was like, 56s are way, way bigger in person.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So that's one downside to it, is if you don't go to the events, not many people see you, but, you know, it is what it is. You get to ride a lot more. You have a lot more fun, in my opinion.
Right.
You get a lot better for kids, too.
Yeah, I agree with that. What is one of the coolest things that's happened to you since doing YouTube?
The people that reach out, and I enjoy helping people. Anybody that's ever messaged me knows that I'll take the time, no matter who it is. And like I said, I'm not huge by no means, but that's what I enjoy. If they ask me a question about the bike, I'm on top of it. If kids come up at the rides, is one of my favorite things ever, because I have kids myself, and I want them to look up to me, you know, and I love that. The kids coming up, the people coming up, we give away koozies and stickers. I love that about it. That's my favorite thing, I would say.
I will say, the first Mud Nats that I met you all, I was so nervous to come up and talk to you guys, because, you know, I was just nervous, really, because I didn't know what I was doing. I didn't have the confidence, you know. There was just so many unknowns where it was like, what am I getting myself into?
Oh, I'm like that.
And then about 2 minutes into talking to you guys, I was like, next year, we're riding together.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, because if you don't stay humble and down to earth, what's the point in it? You know?
Right.
I don't understand. I hope I'm always like that. I will always be like, that's my #1 goal. Like, if we ever do blow up to a point to where I can make a living out of it, or just not have to go to work all the time in West Texas, I would love that, and I would always stay the same person I am. I just don't want to change that about myself. I always give you time if you walk up to me, or I may be hoarse. For some reason at the rides, I tend to get hoarse, hollering and screaming and dust and everything else, but I'll try to talk to you as best as I can.
Yeah. So, with being a YouTuber, right, who's your favorite YouTuber to watch?
Cletus McFarland, Gary Mitchell, my favorite YouTuber on planet Earth, man. He got his stuff together.
If any one person ever landed in the perfect position, it's that guy.
Oh yeah. I think he put himself there. If I would describe it.
Yeah.
I think he put himself there.
But for him to have the following and the ability.
Yeah.
You know, like when the hurricane came through in North Carolina.
He goes help him with the helicopter.
Him and his wife jump into his helicopter and go help. Yep. You know, and I think one of the coolest things that he ever said was when he told everybody that he was going to do it. He said, straight up, he said, I will not make a YouTube video based off of other Americans' demise.
Yeah.
And then it was like, this dude is doing this for the right reason.
Yeah, and he still created a YouTube video off of it just by flying in, flying out, like helicopter content or whatever, or the struggles of it.
Yeah.
But he was very respectful, and he is very respectful. That's why I love him so much. Like, if I could have the chance to meet one guy on YouTube, that's who it would be. That and the Sea Boys. I mean, shout out to the Sea Boys.
Our interests here are so incredibly similar because I'll literally come home off the road.
Yeah.
And that's what me and my wife and my kids do. Sunday, you know, we just sit around and watch YouTube.
Really?
and grill out usually. And we catch up on all the videos that drop throughout the week.
Yeah.
And it's nice, you know, because like their schedules are so on top of it.
Yeah.
And so you know, if you're gone 2 weeks, you know when you get home, you're going to have at least 4 videos to watch. And
I was watching a podcast with him, on a podcast, sitting talking about a podcast, but with him and Roman Atwood and Heavy D and all them, he does, you know, he talks with them.
Yeah.
And one thing I need to get better at as a YouTuber is planning videos out. He plans his videos, right? He said he never got a following like he got until he planned it out. You know, playing thumbnails, playing just everything about the video, and that's the key for me. Is like we kind of just wing it.
Oh yeah, you know, for you guys, at least you guys are running around with, you know, cameras, and you know, you guys look half-ass put together. And here I am just jumping out of the buggy, you know, no shirt on, and I'm just like, here's my phone, boom, we're recording right now. All right, there's the video. But that's why I feel like everybody has that perfect niche in the community, because like you guys are whole for whole, sending it every minute of a video. You see action pack, you know, and as much content as you could fit into one video, that's what you guys are going to put out. I'm a little more the raw, you know, I drink a lot in my videos, I cuss a lot, you know, and I know it's not everybody's cup of tea, but everybody has to fall in line somewhere.
Yeah, that's you, you know.
And that's who I am.
That's you. See, since we started, actually, we starting to get a little more personal, you know, trying to be more personal, let people know us, but for the longest time, it was straight hole for hole. Like I'd tell them, don't talk in the camera, you know, get the perfect shot. But now I'm kind of like, man, let loose, let's have fun. Let's, after watching all these other YouTubers have so much fun doing it, let's have fun doing it. I mean, this is why we're here.
Mud bogging the lawnmower and...
Oh man, sinking the lawnmower.
Sinking the lawnmower.
Fixing it. And
That was pretty funny.
That was funny.
And it's cool to see you guys, you know, like be more personable.
Yeah.
You know, because for the first handful of videos that I'd watched, you know, a year and a half ago, I was like, if these dudes pulled up at a park, I don't think I'd know who they were except for the bike.
Yeah. That's how I am too. That's how men are in general.
Yeah.
I remember people buy trucks, bikes. Half the time I remember their names. I remember them, oh man, he got that bike called such and such, or that truck on Forces, or you know, whatever it is. For us, I think it's more the bikes.
Yeah. Like when you see the powder and you see the inlay on the door, you know, then it's like, oh, that's Blake. Bottomless Trails, Blake.
That's Bottomless Trails. Yeah.
I will say the color is killer too.
Yeah, it don't look nothing on camera like it does in person. It shines in person. I love it too. It took me a long time to pick that. I'm the type where like if I have an idea, I want to do something, I'm gonna research it for months, if not years prior.
Really?
Yeah.
Not me. I'm like
I want to know every detail about it, everything. You know.
Not
the only thing I went sporadic on is the wheels, because it's hard to find 30-inch wheels.
I'm more of a. Whoa.
I like that.
I like that. Google.
Bye.
All right, that's what it is.
No, I'm like, I think a lot of people, the reason they do call me is because they know I do the research.
Yeah.
I'm going to dig into it. I won't run nothing I think that's going to break. I won't, you know. But luckily, I have great people behind me. Take care of me. Take care of me.
I mean, honestly, the build turned out sick. Like every time I look over, I notice just a little bit of something that I didn't notice before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's what it took us a couple months because every time we turn around, we like, man, I'd like to do this. All right, well, let's stop, let's do this, you know, or wait on this part to come in. But yeah, I wasn't doing it again if I can't do it how I want to. I always build them, you know, like you said, just get on there and buy these parts. And
so knowing what you wanted to do with it, besides time, what was the hardest part about building it? Or was it pretty all straightforward after you got the trans out?
Yeah, that was the hardest part, getting the trans out, I would say. Other than that, it's pretty much bolts, you know. It's pretty self-explanatory, just like you always put it together, you know.
Yeah.
Waiting on parts, bolting stuff up, waiting on powder. But I didn't have to wait much because I'm always going, so I have a 2-week gap where I can get everything delivered. Or if you get there and you're like, oh crap, I forgot to order this, you know, then you gotta wait for it. But
right, you're already elbows deep in it, and then you're like, oh well, by the way, I forgot to order this seal kit.
I'm not gonna say it wasn't hard for any of it, because manual labor is hard in general. When you don't do mechanic work every day, you will be sore, your back, your knees.
Dude, that's where I'm at. You know, I'm a driver, so all I do is sit.
Yeah, and I'm basically in the same situation as you are. I crane operate, so I sit in the truck half the day, and the other half I'm sitting in the crane. So I get home and I do manual labor, I'm sore as crap.
Yeah, I'm out here wrenching on the bike for 3 hours, man. I need a 2-day break.
Yeah, easily.
So I think my last question for you is, how did you come up with the name Bottomless Trails TV?
Because we look for the holes that's bottomless, baby. That's all we do. You know, every out there, especially when I first started it, I was on 38s maybe. No, I was on 44s, I think. Cut 44s when I first started the YouTube channel. And we'd go out there and find holes, and we're like, God, that hole is bottomless, you know? And everybody's like, what name you gonna come up? And I don't know, one day I was like, Bottomless Trails. That's what it's gonna be.
And that's what it is.
That's what it's gonna be. Since then, we the last few months, we've been abbreviating it BTTV, because everybody's like, man, it's so long, you know? But yeah, I really like the BTTV thing. I hope it sticks, you know? Yeah.
I mean, it's catchy. The TV is a nice touch.
Yeah. And they was like, get rid of TV. And I'm like, no, I'm not doing that. That's what we doing. You know?
Yeah. Yeah, like I said earlier, you know, like every video feels like an episode. So the TV just really fits.
I think it'd really feel like an episode if we start getting more personable, you know?
Yeah.
That's the hardest thing is you sitting there, you're working on these things, and you may be aggravated or you may be tired, and you don't always want to get in the camera.
Yeah.
My wife's good about pushing me to stop. No, you need to tell them what you're doing or get in the camera, you know. So, but yeah, other than that, I'd say I love it. There ain't nothing I would change about it. I'm gonna stay hitting trails and stay going hole for hole with everybody I can.
I guess one more question, because you guys been to Boggs.
Yeah.
You guys been to Sabine, River Run,
Muddy Bottoms. Gator Run.
Where is a park that you want to hit?
I want to go.
That you ain't been yet.
I want to go to Busco Beach, somewhere on the East Coast. Hogwaller. I want to go on the East Coast.
I want to do Savage Trails.
Or Savage Trails. I don't know how big is that park. Do you know?
Not a clue.
Me either.
I just see all these reels of people like they're
flipping over.
Yeah, flipping over.
Jesse. Shout out Jesse.
Yep. Savage Trails looks like it'll either make or break your machine at Savage Trails.
I don't know how Amber would like that, because it's a lot of deep water, you know. She don't really care for deep water. She likes mud.
Yeah.
Water you can't walk in. Mud you can walk beside all the mud holes. That's what we love about River Run and Sabine, is pretty much every hole you can walk beside of and film, you know, if you're waiting for that. Other than the swamp trail River Run, you can't film that. You'd be up to your chest in water and mud.
Yeah, it looks like their park's actually underwater right now too.
Yeah, they closed it this weekend.
Yep, I just seen that on Facebook today.
Yeah. It was flooded when we went last weekend. It was about, you could probably ride about half the park, I would say.
Dang.
Maybe a little more than half. By the end of it, when the river started going down, we started being able to venture out, but our favorite side of it was flooded.
Damn.
Couldn't ride it, especially at night. You couldn't ride it at all.
That sucks.
Yeah, it sucks, but it's good that we're getting rain because it's better than dry. I'll go to a flooded park any day over a dry park getting dusted out.
Listen, last year, my wife was like, I don't know if we're coming back. And then this year, the
total
rain
opposite.
Was awesome.
Monsoon.
And everybody was like, well, why did it have to rain so much? Yeah, you know what? Let me just turn back the dial just a smidge.
I tell you what, I'd pick rain over dust any day.
Yeah.
Because that's what we're there for. We're there to hit mud holes.
You go to a mud park
you go
to find mud.
Yes, and you're going to find all you people that complain about everything. It don't matter what they do or what the weather's like. Somebody's going to find something to complain about.
Right. I agree with that.
Me, I just go out there to have a good time. I mean, yeah, I do my fair share of complaining like everybody else, but I'm not gonna get on the internet and talk about it. You know?
Yeah.
But no, I'd much rather wet, nasty, rain, flooded, having to pull my truck out afterwards than I do dust.
Yeah. The dust makes it just hard.
Miserable.
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 That's a way better word for it. Is just downright miserable.
Yeah. Like I don't know why we always plan to go to bogs in the middle of the summer.
Yeah.
I guess because of the cool pools make it real nice, but yeah, we always plan to go to the bogs in the middle of the summer. I'd like to hit it during the rainy season. That would be fun. But there's a lot more to offer in the rainy season.
I didn't get to ride any of Bogs and Boulders because that's right after I blew mine up.
Oh yeah.
And I was backseat pimping with some friends. Yep. And they had a stock machine, little tires, and they still ended up burying it.
Yeah.
But it's been a pleasure sitting down, hanging out with you.
Yes, sir, man. I appreciate you coming.
And speak of Bogs and Boulders, Lost Riders is doing a back-to-school ride July 25th through the 27th. And they're doing a trail challenge out there.
Yep.
And I think it's like distance covered, and you have a max speed.
Yeah.
So people aren't going to be racing around. It's going to be a family-friendly event. They're doing a pool party. I think they got a little concert going on. And if you haven't downloaded Lost Riders, you could download it. I'll put the link in the description below. You could use code BTTV or code DirtyRidez, but it's definitely worth
getting it.
It
is.
If you venture out, it is always worth having a backup plan.
Yeah, and even if you ever meet the people that own it, they are top-notch individuals.
Oh yeah,
just knowing them, Scott and Jessica, will make you want to get the app even if it didn't even work. But, no, the app is great.
You don't even have a bike. Yeah. You're still going to want to download the app.
You can literally, everybody in your circle can download it, get the free week off of the codes, and you could put each other in there, pinpoint where you are at any time. I mean, it's got a blue line for so you don't get lost, so you know where you've been. I mean, it's got everything. It's got everything.
It's way easier using Lost Riders than going, oh wow, that tree looks really familiar.
You know what? I got a bad habit of not turning it on until I'm 2 in the morning, everybody's ready to go back to camp and we don't know where we are.
Yeah.
That's the bad habit I have.
I enjoy riding like that more than I enjoy riding around looking at a map.
Me too. I will not open it up unless I have to, period. I mean, that's why we're there. We're there to get lost.
Oh yeah.
The lost and the stuck and the breakage is just part of it.
Yeah, it's part of the adventure. And I feel like if you go to a park and you don't get stuck and you don't break or you don't get lost, then you're not really making the memories.
No, I mean, if you go out there on a tire that's 10 inches taller than everybody else, not to say I'm not, because there are a lot bigger bikes than me out there.
Yeah.
But there comes a point where you can't go so big. You kind of have to stay with the motion.
Yeah.
Because if you do too much, it ain't fun no more, you know? It ain't fun.
Right. I think that if you go up too fast, then you ruin the fun for yourself.
Yeah, you do. Because to me, it's fun to get stuck. I love burying it.
Yeah.
I love the challenge. I love fighting through a hole more than I do just crawling it, you know? Yeah, it's cool to see it crawl it, especially holes that I didn't crawl before.
My favorite videos are when you guys get absolutely stuck.
Oh, yeah.
Because then it's like, if you guys are getting stuck, I'm gonna be over here on the gravel road over here watching.
Oh yeah, but yeah.
And one last shout out, if you guys like his shirt, his merch link will be in the description below as well. Yeah. And you guys do have some killer merch.
Thank you, man.
Your designs killer.
We've been working hard on it. We actually we figured out a lot of stuff lately, so it's gonna look even better for y'all.
I feel like it's every time I blink, you guys have another new design that's killer, and then I place one order, and then I'm like, oh man, I should have waited 2 days.
Well, you go to a ride and hear some ideas from people in the group. You know, I got a group of about 30 that ride with us, so everybody got ideas, or somebody might say something funny, and I'm like, ooh, putting that on a shirt, you know, or I see a shirt somebody else wearing. You know? I'm like, hey man, that's a cool
creativity
design.
Comes everywhere.
Everywhere you look.
Well, again, I can't thank you enough for having me at your house.
Sir, anytime.
And hanging out here in the wild.
Yeah.
Beautiful home. Got some cows in the background. It's cool out here, man. I really do like it.
Yeah. It's cool, man. It's heaven on earth. Heaven on earth.
Well, we'll see you maybe next ride.
Yeah.
Maybe we'll link up and do some riding.
If y'all want to see us, Muddy Bottoms in May. That's where we're going next.
So this, for you guys watching, Muddy Bottoms will be in 2 weeks. Memorial Day weekend.
Yeah, I said Muddy Bottoms in May. It is May now.
It is May.
Yeah, Muddy Bottoms at the end of this month. Come check us out, man. Muddy Bottoms is raw.
Oh yeah.
Have your stuff together. Have spare parts.
I got axles and ball joints.
That's all you need.
And a belt.
And a belt.
2 belts, actually.
Yep, that's what you will need at Muddy Bottoms, I promise you.
Well, I look forward to having you guys help me work on my pile of shit in the driveway.
We got you, bro.
All right, man. I appreciate it.
Yes, sir.